Hello to you. Well, I thought I'd just have a word with you. Sometimes we get into dark places. We have problems in our lives. And sometimes we wonder what's going on, or are we going to be able to overcome whatever problems have presented themselves, or we just feel downright miserable about things. And sometimes, when we've been bereaved, that can overtake us, feelings of grief, sorrow, of course, sadness at a loss, all sorts of reasons. We may have difficulties in relationships, and not just personal, relationships, but relationships with other people that we meet or that we know, and it can all conspire to make us feel sad and a bit bewildered. So what can we do to dispel these feelings? Well, as you know, I always advocate prayer, sending out our thoughts to God, of course, Most High, but also to our loved ones who are in the spirit realms, who are happy to hear from us, happy to receive our thoughts. And of course, with those thoughts come blessings. And it's true, what you send out, you receive back. So even without thinking in advance of that, it actually does work in that way. And the other thing that I do is I ask for a message, and I go to a hymn book and I ask for a message, and this is the one that I got this morning. There is no pathway man has ever trod by faith or seeking sight, but ends in God. Yet 'tis in vain we look without to find the inner secrets of the eternal mind, or meet the King on his eternal throne. But when you kneel at heart and feel so alone, perchance behind the veil you get the grip and spirit sign of secret fellowship. Silently as the gathering of a tear, the human want will bring the helper near. The very weakness that is utterest need of God will draw him down with thee indeed. Isn't that lovely? That's what I received, not just for me this morning, but I realised when I received that I should be having a word with you and passing that on. So there we are. That's our special guidance, if you like, from on high, to tell us that when we're very, very sad and down, God is very near to us, and so are our loved ones in spirit. And the next one I saw, which is directly beneath there: step forward, dear friends, and keep time with the truth. Be manly as men in the ardour of youth, well, women as well, in the ardour of girlhood. Step forward, not backward, nor ever aside at bidding of custom, ambition, or pride. Step boldly but truly, erectly and well. The fruit of your labours the future will tell, if you are but faithful and never despair, but live for the truth and its glory declare. Yeah, yes, absolutely. So that's what we must do, all of us, and it really does cheer one up. Cheers up. The other thing I thought I would share with you, I also went to my own, well, I can't even say it's my own book, it's all back to front, isn't it? Spirit Guides, Iconoclast, Questions with Answers Through Trance Mediumship. And who is it by? Well, it's not really by anybody, but it's To You With Love From Us. And it says Rev Lyn, Gibb-de. I'll tell you what it says on the back. In this 21st century, the mainstream broadcasting channel programmes still studiously avoid serious spiritualist content. I guess who wrote that? Although there are plenty of social media and online inroads being made by spiritualist organisations, groups, individuals and churches. Back in 1996, there's a history lesson for you, a new editor was appointed to Psychic News. I wonder who that was. Who was also a trance medium, who worked with a group in spirit. The group talked about the teachings of Silver Birch having been printed in the paper and thereafter being collected into some volumes, and suggested they have some space in the same way. After settling into the job, the editor agreed to enter a trance state once a week in the office and receive answers to questions that would be put by the assistant editor, Kathy Gibb, now Kathy Gibb-de, who would also act as scribe. Then it was the turn of the medium, having eventually agreed to their plan, to ask the group a question. You will have to give a name for the group. People need a name to relate to. After some discussion, basically a lecture on names and personalities, they agreed and pronounced Iconoclast. And on January the 8th, 1999, began sessions that you can access within the pages of this book. And the book, of course, is published by Rev Lyn on my behalf. And you can get it on Amazon, actually. And I opened it this morning, feeling miss, as I said. Shush! 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 Shush now. Rosie! Daisy! Come on now, quiet. Quiet. Daisy, be quiet now. Come on. Rosie wants to come to say hello to you while we're reading you this. It doesn't it doesn't do to be too serious about this, does it? No. Right. Rosie will read this with me. Shh. Now, shh. Now, as I said, now this one I chose by random. I opened it at random this morning. January the 1st, 2000. Is there as much of God in all of us as there is anywhere? I thought, wow. Kathy asked that question, you see. And this is what they said upstairs. Please, Rosie, just try and behave. That's a good girl. Yes. Yes, I'm talking to you as well. Anywhere is a very large place. But for the purpose of answering that question, we shall assume that your anywhere refers to anything in your known world apart from the human being. It is because there is more of God, as you put it, in the human being that one is able to formulate such a question, which would be beyond the capability of anything else anywhere else. They may be talking about dogs there as well. The Great Spirit is indeed everywhere and anywhere, but the proportion of the God Spirit differs when it comes to the human being. This is where the human being, understanding this, instinctively made the decision for themselves that God made the human being in the likeness of itself, personified in the form of a man in the first instance. This primitive concept is erroneous. Nevertheless, a portion of the God Spirit, that is, if you like, the mind of God, operates within the human being as a driving, reasoning, learning force, more than that to be found anywhere. It has become fashionable in these more egalitarian and socially conscious times to express the thought that everything that exists everywhere and anywhere are somehow equal within the guiding spirit that we call God. The human being is invested with what some can consider as being called the Christ light, which sets it above other things. But this only means that each human being should feel as though they were anointed by God, as if a monarch, and as a monarch among monarchs, and serving the supreme monarch, should seek only the welfare of the others so anointed. The human being, thus feeling themselves to have each and every one a special role to play in the great spirit scheme of things, should also deal with kindness and compassion to anything else, anywhere else. God as the great spirit is all-pervading of life, both physical incarnate and spiritual incarnate and discarnate. The human being is expected to repay the portion that is received of God's power by learning from the life experience, and by so doing pass on the knowledge that they have gained to the next human being. The human being has been given, along with the portion of God's Spirit, the extra responsibility as guardian of the world, and has been given the gift of communication, not just between human beings who exist in the here and now, but by sundry means to pass on information gathered from past generations for the benefit of future generations. We hope that this communication between ourselves in the spirit realm and you who dwell presently on the earth plane has in some part at least answered your question. Well, we thank them, don't we, for this? Wonderful. They're wonderful teachings. Wonderful. And shall we get ourselves another message? We could be greedy, couldn't we? Don't forget that's this book. If you would like to. There's loads and loads of ouch. Rosie tends to be like a bit of a cat, you know. I think she's got a spirit of a cat there, because you know how cats need you, K-N-E-E-D, apart from N-E-E-D. Cats don't actually need N-E-E-D you like a dog does, as we know. But she's sort of pawing me. That's what they call. Ouch! Of course. Oi, don't do that. I suppose I could show you her carefully, very carefully. No, she's moved. No, she's not. She's still here, as you can see. Look, what's this? It's a book, isn't it? That's a lovely book. We're going to get a message. She's gone. I hope you haven't gone. Oh dear, oh dear. Ah. Well, this is what I just opened for us. There is no pathway man has ever trod by faith or seeking sight, but ends in God. Yet 'tis in vain we look without to find the inner secrets of the eternal mind, or meet the King on his eternal throne. But when you kneel at heart and feel so alone, perchance behind the veil you get the grip and spirit sign of secret fellowship. Silently as the gathering of a tear, the human want will bring the helper near. The very weakness that is utterest need of God will draw him down with thee indeed. Well, you saw that I had that book shut, and that, you know, there are any amount of pages, and we got exactly the same one. So I thought I was being clever and saying, oh, we'll get another message. We got the same one again as we started with, so that there's a message in that. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed this little chat with me and the contact with them upstairs. and we know that our loved ones gather around us at these times and give us some upliftment, and even if we don't know how, they seem to lift our spirit. And I hope that I've been able to, in some way, lifted yours. And we ask at this time, of course, for all those who are suffering and don't know about our wonderful methodology and our kind of spirituality. And you know, all you have to do, if you have a little book that's got nice verses in it, you know, just ask and just say what's wrong, what's bothering you, and you're sad or whatever. You don't have to say too much really, because God knows what's in your heart. And just open that random, so-called random, and they will maneuver it so that you actually get something relevant, which is what we've done this evening. So I wish you a very good next few hours. I hope that you feel a little more uplifted, a bit more joyful than you did before we started, and that you enjoyed the diversion of dogs. I'll say God bless you. May the Lord keep you safe, make his face to shine upon you, give you peace.